Welcome, ILTV viewers, to another edition, which will actually be the last edition, of Israel Frenemies. In the studio with me today is Hod Krovi, a strategic advisor for the Labour Party. Our issues today on the agenda are one, the conveyance or the transfer of funds to Gaza from Qatar, and the other is the flood of generals trying to crowd into the election in April. So let's start off with the Qatari money.
Well, I think that this money that Netanyahu was in the beginning approving that Gaza will get it, it's something that it's the worst strategic way that he can work, that he can do in in the view of look, if they're getting money and we approve this money, we should demand that they will stop all all what they're doing, all the attacks against us, and to give them money without any agreement or any demand, it's crazy. And as we saw the last time, when you gave them the money, 1 week later, afterwards, they start attack us. So
well, let me ask a question. Are you opposing the transfer of money because it's Netanyahu, or on substantive value? Because as you know before, the money was coming from Abbas before, and no one objected to it. And
but
now,
they should have.
Well, you know, I find myself in a rather difficult position now because I'm normally taking up the hawkish position, and I find myself not too much in opposition to what you're saying. So,
let me explain.
Are you basically saying that as someone from the Labour Party, you think that we should have strangled the money and strangled the Hamas regime in Gaza with all the repercussions for the civilian population there?
Look, I think that we should allow the money to come there, but I think that without any agreement, it's wrong. It's stupid.
There's no way you can agree. So I mean, I mean, your objection to the money, which I happen to agree with, I think that we shouldn't pay the money. But I'm trying to understand your motivation for your objection.
I'm just, my rule is to have peace, to stop the violence. And if
everybody wants peace, but can you have peace with the Palestinians?
Look, but if we demand, you can have a peace in two options: one with agreement, one without. Just to win a war against them, it's another way of peace. But I believe that most of the Palestinians, half of them, really wants to have peace with us. But
you can't make half with half. You can't make peace with half. So
no, I'm not making peace with us.
I'm trying to understand.
They should get the money.
They should get the money?
We should give them the money, but not without sitting with them and having an agreement.
But we've done it for a quarter of a century. I mean, ever since Rabin allowed the return of the arch-terrorist Arafat back to Gaza, we've been sitting with them. I'm trying to understand what your objection is. Is your objection because Netanyahu gave the money? Is the objection because there's no agreement? Is the objection because you don't think they should have the money? First, I don't think they should have the money anyway. I think that we have got no moral obligation to support our enemies. I think that the Palestinian people in Gaza are not the victims of the leadership.
I don't think that all of them are our enemies.
That doesn't matter. Whenever there's a war between two collectives, not all of the one collective are the enemy. The question is, you have an enemy collective, how do you deal with it? What do you think you can offer the Hamas government to reach a peace agreement? I don't think we can offer them anything.
You must think about the people that are not accepting the violence. Some of them are not accepting.
Well,
they would like to have peace, but they're afraid of this Hamas.
That was precisely, you could say exactly the same thing in the Second World War against Germany. Not all the Germans wanted to fight the West, but you had to defeat Germany in order to make peace. So I'm not quite sure. So let's suppose, a third, 40% of the Palestinians don't want violence or don't feel enmity or
so when I'm giving them the money, I want to think that they should have a normal life, that if we can help them.
But that money is appropriated by Hamas, either because they seize the money itself, or because they tax merchandise that's bought with it. So I'm not going to see how you.
But this is why I'm saying that it's without sitting with them and define where the money goes, and to make sure that it's not going against us. It's to get the money.
Sit with who?
With Hamas,
and if Hamas tell you that they're going to buy sugar and flour instead of investing it in tunnels, do you believe them? What kind of control mechanism do you see there?
We cannot have 100% control, but
50% control. How do you regulate? How do you control where the money goes?
I think that we should. We can sit about it. We can think about the ways to make sure that most of the money will go where we want it to go.
How?
Because giving the money to people that will want to kill us, from the beginning it's crazy.
I agree with you, but I'm not quite sure how sitting with them is going to stop them wanting to kill us.
Let's say that it's better than not sitting with them.
Why?
As Bibi is doing now.
Maybe it's better not to give them the money and go on a different route and use that money to help finance Palestinians to relocate to another place, so that eventually...
They won't relocate to another place.
Why?
No,
that's not true, because just this week we've seen that there's a huge desire for Palestinians to leave, and the only thing that's preventing them from leaving and preventing a mass exodus from Gaza is the lack of money. So perhaps the most judicious use of that money would be to finance immigration, incentivize immigration from Gaza.
As you know, most of them, maybe a few, but most of them will say, I want to stay here.
Why would they want to stay? They're knee-deep in sewage, no drinking water, and no electricity. Why would they want to stay there? I don't think that's true at all. Even if you look at Palestinian polls, 50% of the population have expressed a desire to leave. And the only thing that's preventing them from leaving is that they don't have the money. So why not use, instead of using money that can't control and goes to finance terror organizations, why not use that money to help Palestinians fulfill their desire to find a better place elsewhere? I understand that Turkey now has become the preferred desire for Palestinians. Why not? Why would you object to that?
I don't object to this. If we were sure that 50% of them, I'm not sure, but if we were sure that 50% of them want to go,
I can show you the polls. 50% actually express the desire. They're prepared to say that they want to leave. So I would say if you send money to Gaza, send it for people and allow them to leave, rather than have the money go into Hamas and buy cement and concrete for tunnels. And
you must remember also that the Qatari won't give the money just to move them to another state. It wasn't something that they will do.
But the Qatari is giving money now, and we've got no control of it. So basically, I'm having difficulty understanding your position. You say we should give them the money and sit with Hamas, but we shouldn't. But Hamas, what people are trying to kill us. So how are we going to sit with them and reach any agreement what to do with the money? I'm having a little difficulty following your reasoning.
It's not something that easy that you can just...
a suitcase now arrives of Qatari money for Gaza. What do you do with it?
Then we start... Look, it's better to start thinking and talking with them about any kind of agreement that will give us control and The other side is to give it the money as we do now without any agreement.
Why haven't we been able to reach that agreement up until now? What are
no one demanded it before they gave them.
Our next topic is generals in politics. I think an unprecedented number of generals now are trying to enter the political race in the April elections. What do you think of this?
I think that someone that comes from the military is, even if it was the head of military, is not. We don't know anything about him, and we don't know if he's capable or not capable to be a politician or to be a head of any political movement. When you're in the military, you say your order, everyone will do it. If not, they're going to jail. And it's different to be a politician or to be one that people follow. And it's really crazy, as in my point of view, to see that when someone wants to be elected and is not saying what side is it, in the right side, on the left side.
You're talking about Gantz now.
Yes.
Benny Gantz, the
Benny
former
Gantz.
IDF chief of
people
staff.
vote for him in the politically serve as 14 mandates. It's strange, because if you don't know if he's in your side or in the other side, how can you vote for him?
You know, over the years, a number of generals have entered politics. Most of them have gone into the Labour Party or to parties that have undertaken sort of left-wing or concessionary policies. For instance, Rabin, who basically allowed the arch-terrorist Arafat back into Gaza and later into Ramallah, and allowed armed militias to deploy mortar range from our parliament. And then we had Ehud Barak, who was presented as a rare combination of Beethoven, Spinoza and Einstein, and then withdrew from South Lebanon, abandoning the whole area to Hezbollah, and today it's become a strategic threat, I think. And then we had, of course, Sharon, who abandoned Gaza to Hamas, and they've allowed terrorist nuisances to become into strategic threats. So I would say, particularly, on the left-leaning side, that generals have joined politics and left a disastrous heritage.
I don't agree with you. I think that Rabin was one of the best prime ministers in Israel. He's done many good things.
So you think that Gaza was... Well, first of all, I don't know which Rabin. The first Rabin basically was the first Labour prime minister who lost power to the Likud in the 1970s. The second Rabin brought about the disaster of Oslo, and as you think Oslo was a stunning success.
Maybe Oslo wasn't the big success that we hoped for, but all the things that he do, including wants to have peace and make any effort he can do, this is the way we think we should do it. I think that Bibi Netanyahu is the worst prime minister ever.
Well,
I think he's not given anyone any hope.
I think you've got that completely in reverse. I mean, if you look at the Oslo Agreement, when the Oslo Agreement was presented, there were proponents who promised benefits and opponents who warned of dangers. Quarter of a century now, and many deaths and wounded later. None of the promises have come true, and all the dangers have been realized. So you must admit it was a huge failure. He might have had good intentions, but you're not judged on your intentions. You're judged on your results. Now look at Netanyahu. Netanyahu came into power and brought the terror from unprecedented levels to almost zero. He catapulted the Israeli economy. For the first time, our GDP per capita has gone through the $40,000 mark. We've overtaken Britain, France, and Japan in GDP per capita. We've had great success in the diplomatic field with India.
The diplomatic field?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
It's the worst. Look, if you look over the years, is that it's the worst. He outran
Obama. He managed to expose the terrible defects of the Iranian deal. The new American administration has totally embraced Netanyahu.
Each time any country should have voted. They all voted against Israel. Even when he came to visit them, talked with them, everyone voted against Israel. It's the worst.
Well,
I think the subject is about generals and other.
Well, you brought up Rabin as the best prime minister, and Netanyahu is the worst. I mean, I've got my own criticisms of Netanyahu, but I think that he far outstrips any of the generals who've been before him.
Is what?
Far outstrips in his performance any of the generals who've been before him.
Look, I think that generals in Israel, people after Netanyahu, I think bad years, people are hoping for any kind of magic that will come. This is why, without even knowing if Gantz, for example, is in the right side or left side, they still are voting for him to seek for rescue. To think.
But why do they think? Why do they think that? Look. There's a big difference between the ability to command and the ability to lead. There's a big difference between physical courage in the battlefield and moral courage sticking to your gun.
I agree.
There's a big difference. And,
one can be the best prime minister even if he comes from the military, and other one can. We don't know yet if Gantz is going to be a good politician, a good prime minister, if he will be or not. We don't know. I think that people in Israel should know that they shouldn't vote to anyone until they know at least if they're in the right side or on the left side.
But not only that, even he expresses an opinion. If you look at the cavalcade of previous generals, like, for instance, Shaul Mofaz, who took over Kadima, which was once the biggest party, and ended up leading it to oblivion when they couldn't even get through the threshold. Or Ami Ayalon, or Amnon Lipkin Shachak, or Dani Yatom, or Yitzhak Mordechai. All these people who were generals, who were decorated generals, who had a great military career, and they came to politics, and they were eaten up and spat out. So, I mean, what did you look for in Gantz?
Look, I think
in order to trust him, that he has the kind of skill set that would make him a good prime minister.
I think that in Israel we are, for many years, we think that people that were the head of the military are.
But that flies in the fact of the history of generals in politics, as I said before.
Yes, I think we still believe that there are people that can be good prime ministers, but they can be best and they can be worse. You don't know. Each one is different. Each one, it can be the best in the army, but
so I would say to you, I mean, what would you look for in Gantz to convince you that he could be a good prime minister? I mean, I can think of nothing. I mean, I don't know whether he's for a hardline right-wing program or for a concessionary left-wing program.
I believe that he should.
I mean, his biggest, his only asset now is that he's not. As we take our leave from the viewers with this last program of Israel Frenemies, we would like to remember the first host on the program, Ari Fuld, who was murdered by a terrorist several months ago, and heroically, although he was attacked, managed to shoot his attacker and bring about his apprehension. Ari was an assertive advocate for Israel, a fervent Zionist, and a great warrior for the Jewish state. And he will be sorely missed, and may his memory be blessed.
Welcome to Israeli Frenemies, broadcasted out of the beautiful city of Tel Aviv, Israel.
Hi Iran, Ari Fuld here. I'm on the border of Gaza in a kibbutz in the area.
Ari Fuld, the Assistant Director of Standing Together. Thank you guys for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Good morning, everyone. Ari Fuld here.
No.
Why no? You don't want to talk about the issue?
I'm not going to allow you to say false things. It's time to stop playing diplomacy when truth is on the line.
This is Ari Fuld on the beautiful hills of Jerusalem, Israel, the eternal capital of the Jewish state. I'll be on and off all day long, so definitely stay tuned. Share it out, everyone. God bless. Take care. We are here parked somewhere. Now, I'm not going to give you the area, but you can see not exactly much behind us, and we have around 500 to 600 soldiers here. We are making some good stuff in there. Belgian waffles, ice cream, drinks, and whatnot. You gotta see the smiles on their faces. This is absolutely awesome.
It's with a heavy heart that we say one final goodbye to pro-Israel activist and longtime ILTV contributor Ari Fuld. Fuld was the victim of yesterday's terror attack outside a shopping mall in the West Bank, where he was fatally stabbed by a 17-year-old Palestinian terrorist.
One word that would typify him, it would be that word of Gibor. He was a hero to all. He took such pride in you children. The jewels of his life.
And on that sad and respectful note, we take our leave from ILTV viewers. This is the last program of Israel Frenemies, and we look forward to having you on the other programs of ILTV in the future. Thank you.